of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from it. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
In Florida, man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
Oh, Tank's gonna kill him. Tank's gonna kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
okay. It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's gonna kill him because he will not get hit.
The boxing world is in awe as Gervonta Tank Davis emerges in what many describe as the best shape of his career ahead of his highly anticipated showdown with Jake Paul. Recent training footage captures Davis unleashing thunderous power on the heavy bag, each strike landing with precision, rhythm, and ruthless intensity. His focused movements and relentless pace showcase a man completely dialed in. Experts watching his camp say Tank's discipline, conditioning, and confidence are at their absolute peak, signaling that he's preparing for this fight with unmatched determination. Analysts believe that Gervonta Davis has an excellent chance to win, but only if he fights with intelligence rather than emotion. They emphasize that patience, movement, and timing will be his key weapons, not chasing an early knockout. Tank's brilliance has always been in his ability to read opponents, control the ring, and strike at the perfect moment. Experts insist that if Davis stays disciplined, using his footwork and sharp counterpunching, Jake Paul will struggle to keep up with his accuracy and speed. While Tank's explosive power is world famous, it's his defensive reflexes and countering instincts that make him truly dangerous. Many agree that when Davis fights smart, no fighter at Jake's level can handle his combination of technique, precision, and raw athleticism.
Can his speed and, his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
Experts warn that Jake Paul may be walking into a harsh reality once the bell rings. They point out that Tank's experience, fight IQ, and explosiveness are far beyond anything Jake has ever faced. While Jake's previous opponents were physically strong, none possessed Tank's timing, ring awareness, or ability to exploit the smallest opening. Analysts predict that once Davis connects cleanly, the difference in class will be undeniable. Jake's defense is still considered raw and untested, while Tank has spent years mastering the art of calculated pressure. Many predict a knockout finish, sudden, brutal, and decisive, once Gervonta's power finds its mark.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all gonna say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level, and it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killers.
Chilla Killers.
The debate over weight has become one of the hottest topics surrounding this fight. Some argue that Jake's size advantage could be too significant to overlook, while others believe that Davis's skill, precision, and speed will completely neutralize it. Fans remain divided, some even questioning whether the fight should happen given Jake's larger frame. Yet Tank's supporters insist that size doesn't win fights, technique, control, and intelligence do. They remind everyone that Davis has made a career out of dismantling bigger opponents through angles and timing. For many, Jake's fundamentals are still too limited to threaten a boxer as complete as Davis. They believe that Tank's technical mastery will erase any physical advantage Jake brings into the ring.
Is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional record.
Former UFC champion Michael Bisping offered a balanced take on the matchup. He praised Davis's incredible power and skill but cautioned that weight and size can't be completely ignored. Bisping respects Tank's ability to adapt against bigger fighters, yet he admits that the physical difference could test Davis's endurance and ability to absorb heavier shots. Even so, he's confident that Tank's intelligence and in-ring IQ will allow him to overcome the challenge. If anyone can do it, it's Tank, Bisping said, adding that while size matters, Davis's flawless technique and strategic approach might still be enough to turn the fight in his favor.
They're taking on Mike Tyson, that's pushing 60 years old, for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. And a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday. Because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. And now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars because he puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous, and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many, many times and not knock him out with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could. It's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout and not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money, and a lot of people are going to tune in and watch it on Netflix.
Several analysts have pushed back against critics who downplay Gervonta Davis's accomplishments. They argue that Tank's opponents often gain massive recognition after fighting him, proof of his impact on the sport. Fighters who were relatively unknown before stepping into the ring with Davis often leave with newfound respect and visibility. Experts highlight this as evidence of Tank's star power and influence. They reject claims that he isn't the face of boxing, pointing out that his fights not only entertain fans but also elevate the careers of those who face him. To dismiss his legacy, they say, is to ignore how much he has done to keep boxing relevant and exciting.
Ongoing discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who is somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound championship. Or does he have the WBA?
Coach Reg offered a thoughtful perspective on the criticism surrounding Davis's career choices. He reminded fans that Gervonta has already achieved more than most fighters his age. According to him, there's nothing wrong with prioritizing high-paying fights after years of hard work and risk. Every boxer reaches a stage where securing their financial future matters, Reg explained. He believes Tank has earned that right. Reg also noted that critics often underestimate how much Davis has contributed to the sport through both his performances and the excitement he brings to every fight. Whether Tank retires soon or keeps fighting, Reg believes he has already cemented his place among the elite lightweights of this generation.
I mean, especially Tank been talking about retirement, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical, Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputed. You got some people that just came into this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. He accomplished a lot at a young age, so I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. Plus, look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So, I think, get the bag and go. That's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we don't want to see him fight.
Guess what, bro?
Some analysts point out that part of the reason this fight commands such massive attention is Davis's cultural influence and star power. As one of the most prominent black athletes in America, Tank's fights transcend boxing, they become cultural events. His matches generate global conversation, media coverage, and passionate reactions from fans across the world. With fame comes both admiration and criticism, but experts agree that his talent, not just his popularity, has earned him this spotlight. Davis's presence guarantees that every move he makes becomes headline news, further solidifying his status as one of the sport's true superstars.
Davis, especially an American black fighter, right? Everything is embellished and, made into a bigger deal, especially when they're popular fighters like Gervonta Davis. Or Floyd Mayweather has a close fight with Castillo Maidana, and it's the end of the world. Andre Ward has a tough fight with Kovalev. Oh, it's the end of the world, he cheated, and all this stuff. Jermell Charlo has a close fight with Castano, so on and so forth, right? Oh, Jermell, it was a robbery, and it turns into this big deal. But back to Tank's resume, his last opponent was Lamont Roach. I thought he won the fight. There wasn't this crazy action happening on Lamont Roach's side prior to that knee thing. I feel like when the knee fiasco happened, that's when the fight started to pick up a bit. And Lamont Roach, I think what he deserves credit for is he exceeded expectations that people have for him. But you can't score a fight based on expectations. You feel me? Right? Like, you don't get a fight and get the victory because you did better than people thought you were going to do. That is not how you score boxing, right? You don't get more points because you're the underdog and you did better. It's not how boxing works at all, right?
Many analysts see the Davis versus Jake Paul bout as more than a sporting event, it's a global entertainment spectacle. Jake Paul's crossover fame through social media and mainstream entertainment has created an unusual but powerful mix of audiences. Experts suggest that the fight represents the fusion of traditional boxing and modern entertainment. With Netflix reportedly involved in the broadcast, the event is expected to reach millions of viewers worldwide. While some predict Tank will dominate due to his elite skill and experience, others believe Jake's fame keeps the matchup intriguing. Regardless of outcome, it's a symbol of how boxing has evolved, where skill meets spectacle, and both fighters stand to gain global recognition.
Jake Paul thoughts, I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote-unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is,
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people don't.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when there was
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's going to kill him because he will not get hit.
Champion boxer Stephen Fulton has come to Davis's defense amid criticism that he's prioritizing money over legacy. Fulton argues that every fighter deserves the chance to secure financial stability, especially in a sport as dangerous and short-lived as boxing. He emphasizes that Tank has already proven his worth through years of dominance and that choosing lucrative fights now is simply smart business. Fulton urged fans to understand that greatness and financial reward aren't mutually exclusive. His comments reflect a growing sentiment in the boxing world, respect for fighters who recognize their value and refuse to be boxed into outdated traditions.
Need body in that position when it took that fight, especially with the payout. It's like, that's a no-brainer, but I understand, I still feel for Lamont, that's my boy. Like, he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. You're like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Because, I mean, I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, because none of us would deny that money. They talking like they would, none of them would deny it.
Veteran heavyweight Eddie Chambers issued a warning to anyone underestimating Gervonta Davis. While he acknowledges Jake Paul's physical size, he insists that Tank's speed, precision, and ring IQ make him a nightmare for any opponent. Chambers highlighted Davis's explosive combinations, quick reflexes, and uncanny ability to break down larger fighters who rely on strength over skill. Unless Jake can transform into a truly disciplined technician, Chambers believes he'll struggle to handle Tank's timing and accuracy. He concluded by calling Davis one of the most dangerous pound-for-pound fighters in the world, proof that technical brilliance and mental sharpness can easily overcome any size disadvantage.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media, this is what it's created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, you know, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot, so I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and expert analysis as the boxing world continues to buzz over Gervonta "Tank" Davis and his upcoming clash with Jake Paul.